Hello and welcome to this, episode 38 of VocTer Gaming. I am your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain, and we are here with Game 3 of the BNet series between these two players, spawning on the west side. He is the son of Boxer, the Red Terran, SlayerSMMA, and spawning right at the furthest point he could be from MMA. He is our Blue Terran. He is currently 2 games up in this best of 5 series. He is a former GSL Champion. He is IMMvp. Now, of course, this being a best of 5, if MVP takes this game, he will, of course, close this series out, and we can go home and have a nice weekend. If, of course, MMA wins, this game will roll over into Tuesday and potentially Wednesday shows before we reach a conclusion. Holy crap, you guys. I am so tired. I am actually exhausted. Everything is screwed up forever at work. All my hours have changed. So now I'm not getting home until like gone 10 o'clock, and then I need to eat and shower and do normal human things, and then watch the GSL, so I'm not even getting to sleep till about 2-3 in the morning, and then I'm back up at 7, because holy balls, I love exercising and making these videos. This is the sacrifice I make for you, so I'm going to yawn like hell today, and you are just going to have to put up with it. That is how today is going to go. Now, of course, we've seen MMA struggle against MVP very recently in these past 2 games, kind of just lagging behind the style that works. However, this being such a large map, I think MMA could actually take this game. I think his style suits this kind of larger map. I think while Bio struggles, or not necessarily just Bio, but the kind of tank-based mech that we've seen from him recently. You need more bases than your opponent to run that. With the heavy mech into Sky Terran style that MVP was doing, you can see it's about having a core of strong units that you keep alive, whereas MMA is about throwing units away again and again against your opponent until you get that advantage, until you completely break them down. So you need more bases than your opponent, which this map will facilitate. Unfortunately, did just place that barrack slightly wrong. He is still going for the very quick starport. Did go gas first, as we've seen. I explained a bit about that yesterday for those of you who watch every one of my videos, which you all should, because they are all amazing, except for when Slayer's Legal Mind is playing. But he is, it looks like, going to go for that fast Banshee, which is nice. A big map like this, lots and lots of bases, you can really do some harassment with that Banshee. And if we come into the base of MVP, we saw obviously he just one Rax fast expanded. He is now going to build a second Rax. So he's going to have to play very, very defensively to start with. And as we see, he has these Marines in a forward position. It's going to allow him to stop any scouts before they see this natural expansion has been taken. This starport is done with the tech lab. Cloak is coming out, so we are going to be seeing a Banshee as soon as he can afford one. The racks and the factory are just going to wall off the front here. I think that is a tight wall off, is it not? I can never tell. Circles are really bad for not being able to tell you any useful information. No, it's not a tight wall off, because there comes an SCV. So now he knows the Banshee's coming. That feels like a mistake, I've got to say. That really needed to be walled off better, because you don't want your opponent to know you're going Cloak Banshees. As you can see now, Engineering Bay is going down, which is going to mean there are going to be some nice missile turrets down here and down here by the time that this Banshee gets there. He may get there just in time. This is a really big map though, and he needs to be careful not to be caught. That is the only Banshee he's going to make. He's now going to get either Siege Tank or Blue Flame Hellions, depending on what way he wants to go with this. I like the idea of Blue Flame Hellions, again with the amount of bases there are here. Blue Flame Hellion Harass is going to be really good, and that is what he's going for. Coming back into the base of MVP, we see he's getting up the starport. That is not going to be in time to get the Viking out before the Banshee arrives, as the Banshee's here. And it does have cloak. No missile turrets yet. One is going up, it's nearly finished. Is it going to be finished in time? Yes, it is. That is going to shut this down. He's going to have to be careful to stay on the very edges to avoid being picked off by it. One shot, two shots coming in at it now. Can sit in this safe place, but unfortunately Marines are going to chase it off, as MVP has plenty of scans saved up right now. 2 scans from there and 2 scans on here as well. Being caught by that missile turret again. Oh! Nearly loses the Banshee. It's only got 4 kills. That is not paying for itself. And this Viking is going to finally chase it off. That Banshee is done. Now, MMA has expanded down to this base, the smaller expansion. Slightly safer, although can be attacked through these rocks, through the destructible debris, if you are not careful. Also expanding to here at the same time, so taking 2 expansions. Going to try and get his economy ahead of MVP's. If we look at the resource, the income tab, we see he is lagging very far behind in the minerals, lagging about 400 to 500 behind per second. And if we look at the units, we have 2 Vikings for MVP, 1 Marauder with 11 Marines, 4 Hellions, which are going to be Blue Flame Hellions very soon, 1 Medevac and 1 Marine. He is now switching to Vikings. That is going to help him stop any kind of Viking attack from... Oh, Blue Flame Hellion's now in the base. Blue Flame Hellion drop takes down all these Marines. Very low on health though. Needs to not get caught by those SCVs. Marines and Marauders coming up. Oh, the SCVs line up, but he can't get the last shot off. These Marines and Marauders should shut this down now. Trying to just get any extra kills he can, but a tank is there to finally put an end to that. That was some nice harass from MVP. If you'd been able to get from MMA, if you'd been able to get that last shot off on the SCVs, that would have been absolutely brilliant. Would have done so much damage. Okay, MVP's 3rd command center is now finishing. It is going to be going up. A small force of Vikings and Hellions now moving out. Is just going to check down here, perhaps for any extra bases. Nope. I think perhaps waiting for a medevac? Yes, we are waiting for a medevac. I like that. The medevac with the Viking escort. Going to allow him to pick this off very, very easily. Along with that, does lose 1 Viking. Lands that Viking. I like that. He was going to lose it anyway, so we may as well use it to get some shots off. And these Marauders are waiting for it though. Got nearly 0 SCV kills there. That did not go as planned. MVP obviously saw it coming and was able to pull all the SCVs as these Viking and Medevac come home. Right, now, bit of analysis time. We have Siege Tech coming out now. We have an eBay and an Armory going up and a Tech Lab going down on the barracks. What we are going to see now is heavy, heavy tank. As we see 2 factories, we are going to see, this is the current mech play. Tank Hellion. Instead of getting the Marines, you get Hellions. Potentially get a few Marauders as well, or a few Marines out just to help deal damage against the Vikings. But really what you want is Hellion, Tank, Viking into Viking Battlecruiser. That is how the current Terran game works. Building yet another command center here, so it looks like he's going to expand again. They do take that Marauder out. This is a nice force of tanks and Hellions. With the siege mode on the tanks, he's finished researching. He is now getting +1 to his vehicle weapons. Which is going to help these siege tanks do so much splash damage. Oh, but these Hellions run into the siege tank lines. Luckily for him, MVP does not have siege yet. Which means he has the clear advantage in the tank battles at this stage of the game. Unfortunately for him, this is a very, very wide map, so there is no safe place you can just set up a siege tank line to defend the centre the way you could on, say, Crossfire, as we saw yesterday. This is about as close as you can get to defending the centre, but of course you can still move around here and completely bypass the siege tank lines.